For more, Jared Mondschein joins me now. He's Director of Research at the United States Studies Center. Thanks very much for your time today, Jared. First off, I want to know your reaction to how Biden performed. How did he appear to you in that ABC interview on Friday? And in your opinion, do you think he did enough to quell concerns among supporters and lawmakers?
I don't think anyone came away from the ABC interview completely satisfied with his conduct. Let's not forget that the debates that he had over a week prior to then, it was not a good one. And I think a lot of sitting presidents would say they did not have a good first debate, including Barack Obama, who tweeted afterwards that he knew something about bad debates. But the sort of failure of Joe Biden in his first debate was not anything close to what prior presidents had in their debates, in that it was not a matter of execution and conveying of key policy ideas. It was a matter of executing the duties of the office of the presidency, and there being ever growing and unprecedented calls for Biden to step down because there is ever growing and unprecedented doubt that he can carry out his duties as president. And so that's why we are seeing now only growing calls for him to be more upfront about his mental state, as well as to potentially step down because he simply does not have the capacity to continue, let alone maybe 6 months from now, but 4 years from now. I think there's ever growing doubt.
But at this point, you know, Mr. Biden is stealing his position. He's saying that only the Lord Almighty could get him to step aside. So is there any group, Democratic donors, for instance, or maybe one particular person that could sway the president?
What is unique about Joe Biden is something that has been known about him for many decades now. He's been in the limelight for over half a century at this point, and that is the importance of family. He may have some senior Democrats come and talk to him. He said in that interview on Friday that those senior Democrats, have not come to him and told him to step down and would not come to him to step down. But beyond just the Democratic Party apparatus, whether that be senior Democrats in Congress or prior presidents, including Barack Obama, or prior senior Democratic leaders like Hillary Clinton, beyond that, I think the most important people to watch in this area is the Biden family itself, especially Jill Biden, his wife. He famously did not run in 2016 after consulting with his family and deciding that it would be too much. In prior years, in 2004, his wife was against him running. But in 2020 and in 2024, his wife and his family have been fully supportive of him running. And right now, especially in their public engagements since the debate, right now, there's been no indication whatsoever that they have any doubts that he should keep running. The thing is that completely flies in the face of where the rest of his campaign is right now.
Jared, you know, some supporters, they've said, look, asking President Biden to step aside, it's not disrespectful at all. It's simply a matter of facing reality. Can you explain why the president is so reluctant to give up?
Joe Biden has been wanting to be president for a long time. This is not this campaign is not his first campaign. He ran in the 1980s. He also ran in 2008. So this is his fourth presidential campaign. He has wanted to be president for the majority of his adult life. And so he is someone who not only has wanted to be president, but also enjoys the office of the presidency. He also, we have to admit, is the only one who has defeated Donald Trump at the ballot box. Hillary Clinton was not able to do it. And as a result, he thinks that he is uniquely capable of defeating Donald Trump, who he sees as an existential threat to democracy. And he thinks that he's been counted out before, back in 2020, back in also the midterm elections in 2022. Time and time again, a lot of people second guess whether he would, in 2020, be the Democratic nominee because he did not win Iowa or New Hampshire in those early primary states. And then in 2022, there's all sorts of guessing that the Dems would have a red wave, they called it, in the midterm elections. And instead, they called it a trickle because the Democrats did better in that midterm election than most were predicting. So he thinks that he's been counted down and out before, and this is just one more instance of this. And it's just a matter of time, in his view, before his numbers start to recover.
Before we go, I got to ask you about Trump. Trump broke his silence on Saturday after being uncharacteristically quiet. On social media, he taunted President Biden, urging him to stay in the race. Jared, very quickly, is Biden sticking around Trump's easiest path to victory?
Yes, it is. If you look at the polling right now and the head-to-head polling, as much as his team in the Biden campaign in the first few hours or days after the debate said that the other leading Democratic candidates would actually fare just the same, if not worse, those numbers have changed. The polling that has come out since that debate have not been good news for the Biden campaign whatsoever. And so right now, Donald Trump sees it as in his political interest for Joe Biden to be the opponent facing him in November of this year. So that's why Donald Trump is very keen for Joe Biden to stay in the race.
The clock is ticking. Jared, thank you very much for your analysis and your time today. Jared Mondschein, Director of Research at the United States Studies Center.